It is something many of us can relate to, caring for a loved one who is ill or disabled. But did you know that caregivers themselves actually risk suffering physical harm? It's something called compassion fatigue, and it affects thousands of Americans. Dr. Wendy Walsh joins me now. She's from Los Angeles. And Wendy, first, quickly, what is compassion fatigue? I think many people feel it, but they may not be aware enough to give it a name.
It has features of anxiety and depression. So if you're feeling, you're sleeping too much or too little, you're eating too little, you're feeling anxiety, you're irritable all the time, you're feeling absolutely depleted, these are symptoms of caregiver fatigue, and they can affect your own health. So it's very important that people who are giving care understand that they have to put their own oxygen mask on first sometimes.
The National Alliance for Caregiving says that 65 million Americans care for someone who is chronically ill or disabled on average, spending more than 20 hours a week. So why do we take on this kind of responsibility, Dr. Wendy?
Because who's going to do it? The government?
Right.
You know, it used to be that we had big extended families that were very close. There were lots of aunties and grannies and sisters and nieces around who could be running errands and helping with grandma. And let's not forget that 1 in 8 Americans over the age of 75 have Alzheimer's, so they need round-the-clock care or at least watching, supervision. So now we don't have that, and the burden often goes to the spouse or the eldest child. Now, we're talking about a population of baby boomers, Don, who had their babies late. So they're the sandwich generation where they're dealing with children, teenagers, and now an elderly person that they've also got to care for. This can be so stressful.
Well, I imagine that the answer to my next question is anyone who can be impacted, but go ahead.
Well, anyone can be impacted, but the big treatment is that you've got to reach out for help. You've got to ask the people around you, whether they be, I always say friends or the family that you choose, whether they be the friends around you, the neighbors around you, that you can call and say, you know, could you watch him for 1 hour a week while I go to a yoga class? The other thing is a support group can be very, very helpful, a caregiver support group. And finally, just be aware that you can't be a good caregiver, like you can't be a good mother, unless sometimes you put your own oxygen mask on first and take care of yourself.